taking the time to go back and see where I made my mistake on Tesla. So, obviously, let's just zoom out a little bit. The day, right? Talked about this Browning formation that it completely blew through and even expanded. Like I could redraw my Browning formation from this low to here, right? So it did this, but I kept this one drawn because it could retest it, right? And so that's what we were looking for originally. It was retesting. And then yesterday in my video, I said it's going to go back into this Browning formation, right? So up here is where I'm looking to go, which is part of why I'm swinging Tesla, right? And I want to swing Tesla all week. This 3, right? I got in at the end of Monday. I put in the chat because I thought it was going to, obviously keep going, right? So this 3 is indication to me that my swing may work all week. This closing into strength is also indication that to swing it again, right? So knowing that Tesla is strong, there's really no good reason to get out. If this is the daily open, and I know how to do this, the problem that I had yesterday was less about exiting and more about putting too much money in the AM session. And it's a few things, right? So we see the broad information, yada yada, great. So it never came back to the open, which is fine. Because you have to remember, like, I'm in swings, right? So this, let me make it larger. So this situation and all of this big 3, I want to let candles close. That's how I trade. Like all of this doesn't actually give me a negative contract price because I'm in the swings that I've added to. So my swings were up 100+%. And then, here I'm still up I think they were up like 160 something. And then through my ads and everything, I'm still up like a good 50%, even on these pullback situations, right? So that's why I'm frustrated about my exit. It wasn't as though I was losing money. That's the first thing. Secondly, I have made video after video about trading on the hour. Like you get in on the hour, you trade on the hour. So these would be my stops that they don't hit, right? These stops are never hit. So exiting just wasn't the play. And not if, when I exited, my problem is that I took out too much, which I found frustrating. I didn't let candles close, which is my rule, which I found frustrating. And because of that, what I held was significantly less than what I wanted, right? And now, looking in the morning, we've gapped to like $8 or something. I don't have on my glasses, I can't see, but that is what I'm finding to be irritating. So what I'm trying to learn from this is, first of all, there's really no reason for me to be watching Tesla if it hasn't crossed the hour. Like I just need to put my alerts on and like keep going. Secondly, if I'm adding 50 contracts here, at how much were they? 270 a piece. I need to be holding enough capital because this is still early in the day. I need to be holding enough capital to get back in should I get kicked out, right? So I didn't have enough to get, another 50 or 60 or however much I wanted when this became obvious, right? And it really wasn't on the 30, it was on the 15. When this became obvious, I wasn't holding and I didn't have enough funds to buy more contracts, right? I only had enough to buy like 20 more contracts when I wanted significantly more. It wasn't that I'm not in the trade, it's that I managed it improperly. And like execution is so important while we're trading. And I mean, I can be frustrated if I want to be, so there's also that. But, I'm just trying to be better. And this is my sort of assessment of what happened and why it happened. This was aggressive, fine, fair. Even this was aggressive. But remember when I said how quick things happen matters, right? Like, this went down, sure, but it came back up within 15 minutes. So how long was it down? And it's really just this 5 minute shooter. Okay, great. You let this fiber close, and like if you get out here, makes complete sense. But again, if this is my exit, if this is giving me like obvious exit, fair enough. But I have to be able to get back in, because remember when I talk about the fives, I tell myself, right, like if it's a five, like the smaller the time frame, the more often I'm going to get kicked out and have to get back in. But if I've put too much money in at the start, then all that does is screw me on my re-entry, and that's why I'm feeling annoyed and frustrated, because truly, and is this the same? This doesn't look right. This looks like, because the 15 would have closed. I think this is the wrong candle. Yeah. Yeah, that's wrong. Okay, so this is the 15. The 15 closed up here. So this was just the flip, right? And see, like, I can't get shaken out on the flip. Of course, they have to put a wick in. So this is the first 5 minutes of the flip. This is the second 5 minutes. Like, if I can't hold the first 5 minutes of the flip, like, come on. So this is the second 5 minutes, right? It goes down, it goes up. Within 5 minutes, it's giving me an entry to get back in. So that's letting me know that it's just putting in the wick on the 30 and the 15. Look, putting in the wick. Boom. It happened, like, it's just 5 minutes of, like, pain, and the next 5, it's already returning to where you want it to go. And you have your targets, right? Like I mentioned, the things I need to know before I get into a trade. Like, yesterday, the target was this line first. Well, actually, it was this dotted line first, this dotted line second, this re-entry of the Bronning Formation third, and then ADR, right? So I know where I'm trying to go. Why am I getting shaken out? Is a completely different question. And so that's just me assessing what I could have and should have done better. And yeah, I also wanted to clarify, like, I was never in the negatives. Like, I was never down on my contracts. Down in terms of had lost money. They were always in profit. But yeah, live and learn. Obviously, less frustrated now, but I want to be better, and I want to be able to see these things on a larger scale, right? Like, again, looking at the hour, absolutely no reason to get out. And I prefer to trade that, right? I've talked about doing it on Costco, on Nvidia, etc., etc. Nvidia a bit less so, in terms of exiting. This is a crazy thing to hold all the way down here. I can see that in hindsight, sure. This is your actual decent entry in Nvidia if you're trading on the hour. So here, and then up, up, up. So came close to target, rejected. I wonder what that looked like. I can't remember. Yeah. So, but Nvidia is also a swing, which I mentioned yesterday. What a gap. So, failed to down all the way through. And we'll see what happens today.